was if anybody had any questions about this upcoming maintenance window that we're doing to add the additional circuit out of the Topeka data center into the AVPN network, we wanted to give you an opportunity to bring those questions forward. I'll tell you just a little bit about what the process is going to be that we're going to follow. On the 13th, right about 10 o'clock, we will make a call into your pilot DN and tell you that we're preparing to do this, just kind of to kick it off, and that once we get everything rerouted to your admin lines, we'll be making test calls. Then we'll have AT&T do the reroute, and then we'll initiate those test calls once the reroute is completed to make sure that both your wireline and your wireless trunks have been routed over to your admin lines. You'll take any 911 calls that you get during the period of this maintenance window on your admin lines. You'll have just basic 911 at that point in time. Once the maintenance is complete, then we'll call you back again on your pilot DN, which will come in on your admin line at that time to tell you that we're going to start the process of routing back to your 911 trunks. Once we have you routed back to the 911 trunks, then we'll do test calls on both your wireline and wireless trunks to make sure that they're back on your cameras and that everything's working appropriately. We will ask you to log off and then to log back on, and we'll ask that you wait until we specifically ask you to do both of those things so that we have a good handle that everybody's logged off and everybody's logged back on so that the test calls all work. So that's kind of the quick version of what's going to happen. We're hoping it's scheduled for 10 to 6, 10 at night to 6 the next morning. We're hoping that time window is going to be much shorter than that, but they did want to allow sufficient time in case we hit some snags so we don't freak anybody out that we're going over time. So with that, I will open it up to anybody with any questions.
Okay, this is Jim, Gray County.
Uh-huh.
You say you're starting this on the 13th, and will everybody be done at that same day, or will it be different days?
No, it will be everybody down at that same day. Hopefully this is the only time that we will ever have to do this. But everyone will be down at the same time for that, whatever time it takes in that 8-hour window.
Okay, is there somebody going to be out, or is it all going to be done on the... There's not going to have anybody out here?
No, we won't have anybody at the PSAP.
Okay.
It'll all be done on the... Actually, all the work is taking place in the network, in the host facilities themselves with the system routers. That's the reason that they have to take those system routers offline, and so that's the reason we have to reroute you for this maintenance.
Okay. And are you guys going to reroute going to our business lines, or do we need to do that, or?
No, we'll take care of that, and we'll give you a phone call telling you we're going to, then we'll give you a couple of calls telling you that we have and making sure that the reroute worked right. And then once we're done, we'll follow that same process. We'll tell you that we're done, and then we'll make calls to make sure that everything rerouted correctly.
Okay, so that means we don't have to do a whole lot then.
Just be aware and tolerate basic 911 for that time period, really, is all there is to do. Yeah.
Scott, this is Michelle. Can you clarify if your admin lines are integrated into the 911 system, is there any difference between that scenario versus someone who has a standalone admin system?
There's really not any difference in the process. Obviously, if you're going to lose access to the Vesta system completely. So if your lines aren't in a separate admin system, if your admin lines are only served by the Vesta, which there are several of our PSAPs that are, then you're going to have a backup phone plugged into your jacks for those admin lines. And the techs, as they're working in the field this week and next week to do the upgrades, that's one of the things they're going to do while they're on site, is make sure that you have those jacks available, make sure you have phones to plug into them, and make sure that they work.
Okay. And then just for anyone who's on the call that may have been configured like I was, when we made the jump over to integrated into the Vesta admin integrated, we needed more capacity on our logger than we had, so we were recording by console versus by phone line. So for this interim period, if anybody else is doing that, there may be a logger issue, and I just wanted to bring that up in case anyone happens to be configured like we are.
Alicia Markley.
And Michelle, when you say a logger issue, that just means if you're only recording at the position level, it may not be recording for those couple hours that we're down at night, because your logger wouldn't be connected. And
That's
that would
correct.
Be
it's not tapped into or punched down per line. It's punched down for betterware at the console position. So anything that's picked up at that console is logged. So I just wanted to bring that up in case anyone else is configured that way. So when you reroute to the admin lines are now on a standalone phone. If you were logging at the console level, you're not going to be logging 911 or admin.
And no one will be logging. Well, that's not true. Everyone will be logging that have tapped their admin lines at the circuit level, which, other than you, Michelle, I believe everybody else is configured that way. They're reporting 911 at the position level, but all of their admin lines are picked up at the line level. In addition to, if they answered on Vesta, then it's recorded there as well. But I think you're the only one. And in fact, like I told you when we discussed that the other day, I didn't realize that you were configured that way. So I guess I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that everybody else is recording at the line level on admin lines.
Yeah, we might be the only one. I just wanted, in case anyone else was, that there's no surprises.
Yeah, totally agree. It's good information to put out there. Anybody else have any questions?
Scott, this is Jim again.
Yeah.
You were saying that your techs are going to be out here looking at phone lines and stuff like that. Are you saying that you're going to have techs out here before the 13th?
Yes. Yeah, you should be seeing techs this. Well, you should have seen techs this week because you're on the South Coast. They should have been out to do the release 6.1.
Okay, I haven't seen
Jim,
anybody
this
yet.
Is Troy. Hey, Jim, this is Troy. I think they were out this week while we were in Topeka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they should have been there this week, and that was part of their tasking when they went out to do that upgrade, was to check that out and make sure that everything was going to work. So
this
Yeah,
Lance,
I know
our
our
AT&T guy, was out yesterday.
Oh, not Lance. I don't remember who came out. Was it, I can't remember who came to Haskell. I was gone. They told me. It was one of the guys out on the install, so.
Yeah, it could have been, it could have been Brandon Morgan, Greg Parmalee, Josh Peterson, John Rails, or Mark Wimberly. Any one of those five.
I think it was Brandon, actually. Is what Sue said, so.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Okay, well, I think that all my questions done.
Okay, anybody else?
Hey, Scott, this is Leon. I understand that they're projecting the 8 hours. Do they have a solid projection on how long the work's actually going to take, or is the 8 hours just a contingency?
8 hours is a contingency. They're hoping that it's shorter than that, and what I was told was that without any hiccups at all, they anticipated probably about 3 hours.
Did they tell you what a hiccup is?
Well, a hiccup would be the reason that they're taking this off. They're reconfiguring the routers to include this alternative route for all of the extra circuit provides for all of the routers in the system. So a hiccup would be if one of those routes failed to load correctly, and then they have to test all of the routes that they create. So if one of those would be messed up, then that would slow them down. They'd have to recreate that route. But the likelihood of that is pretty small, really.
Okay, you said that we're going to have to log out of the positions. Are we going to need to take them completely down or just log out?
Just log out.
Does that include the mapping?
You could leave your map up because it's going to be disconnected from you wouldn't have to close the map window. It could stay up.
Will it still function?
No, it will not.
Okay. And then when the Southern host had their, I'll call it an outage, we lost service. I think you were here that day for a meeting, but we lost service for 3 or 4 minutes. It came back up. And we had some issues with our anti-alley information, if I remember correctly. Is there any anticipated issues like that could come as an after effect?
Well, that's actually the reason that we're going to ask you to log off, is to try and avoid any type of problem like that caused by an unexpected failure of the network. So that's kind of the reason we're asking you to log off.
Okay.
So no, I'm very hopeful that we won't have any issues like that.
All right, thank you.
This is Becky and Pratt. I just want to be sure at 10 o'clock you will call and let us, you're going to call each one of us when it's time for you to work on our system, or everyone just automatically logs off at 10 o'clock?
No. You will get a call. There's actually a group of about 10 of us, I think, that are going to split up all the PSAPs and make those calls. But you will get a call from somebody. It will come in on your 911 line, and we'll tell you at that time that we're getting ready to do this. We're going to initiate the reroute, and then as soon as we have that reroute in place, we'll call you back. This time it'll come in on your admin line, and we'll tell you then you've been rerouted, and you'll stay that way until we're done.
Okay.
And then once we are done, we'll call you back, tell you that we're going to initiate the reroute back to 911, and then we'll make the test calls following that reroute, and then we'll be done.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, Scott, it's Leon again.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me, when we take the phone system down, we have a lot of phone numbers programmed into the dial directory. Do you know if there's a way that we can quickly export that or print it out so we have that still available to us?
I believe you can print that to your system printer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can, and that's a good catch, Leon.
Scott, this is Tim. Can you send us instructions on how to print those phone numbers out?
Let me try and get that rounded up, and I'll send you out instructions yet today on how to do that.
That'd be great.
Anybody else have any questions at all?
Hey, Scott, this is Troy. Any chance that if we get some, worst case scenario call, you could bring a single position up, or we're just going to 100% rely on our people to try to figure out where somebody's at if it's one of those situations?
Unfortunately, yeah. If it's one of those situations, it's going to be 100% reliance on your personnel to get their location, because once we initiate the reroute and they pull those routers offline, there basically is no system to fail back to until they get it completed.
Well, that was my assumption. I just wanted to ask in case I get that question. So, and for the most part, that's what we try. But
I say that would be a true statement up until the time that they start testing the default routes, which is probably 15 to 30 minutes into the window. So if we would have a situation arise where you had somebody that you had to get located, whoever we will add to our script for making the test calls to leave our contact number with the PSAPs we've called, so that if something like that would arise, you could call us back and we could then work through the AT&T folks in order to allow you to log back onto a position more quickly. The problem with that, though, is you're not going to, you would have to disconnect the call and have them call 911 back, because it's going to exist on your admin trunk, not on a camera.
Yeah, and take that danger that may not happen.
Yeah, it probably would not work.
Okay, yeah, that's the only question I had, I think.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah, the odds of that are very slim, but you know how these deals go, so.
And we are absolutely not expecting to ever have to do this again on the system. This circuit that's going in provides a redundant path into that Topeka data center. It's been a part of the design of the system since we built it out. It was a requirement of the RFP, and it's taken this long. They actually had to build a new point of presence on the AVPN in order to route this circuit in a redundant manner so that it didn't share any facilities. And it's taken them this long to get it turned up. So once we have this in place, we don't anticipate ever having to do this kind of thing ever again, but a little growing pain of the system.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yes, Scott,
Hey.
it's Becky again.
Yeah.
Those directions for downloading on the directory, can you send those to me too?
Yeah, I'll send it out to the whole group of you, everybody that's on the system, so you all have it.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Scott, it's Leon. I got another question for you.
Okay.
I just want to verify we are not going to get any number information.
Right. You're going to be basic 911. You're going to get the voice call only.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else?
Nope. Just thank you very much. This has been very helpful.
Glad to do it. Definitely wanted you all to be as informed on this as you could be. So happy to do it, and I'm glad you all could dial in and participate.
Thanks a bunch. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks.